Hey everyone.
What up?
How is everyone doing today? Welcome back to our second episode of Insert Subject Here.
Yeah.
I'm Makia.
I am Anthony.
And first we want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in to the last episode, those that liked, that commented, that shared it. We truly appreciate you all.
Absolutely appreciate y'all.
And thank you. I'm glad to get the feedback. We're always happy to get feedback, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yep.
Keep that feedback coming.
Keep it coming. Also, I want to send a shout out, prayers out to Nate Robinson. You feel me? That was rough last night, Nate. We praying for you, bro. You know, keep your head up, keep your hands up, but keep your head up.
I am really enjoying all of the challenges that people are doing now. The interweb is
undefeated, man. They are undefeated. It was if you don't know what we're talking about, the Tyson Jones fight was last night, and the undercard was it Jake Paul, I think. You know, I'm old, so I don't know all the names, but Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson. Yeah, it wasn't good. So, so if y'all got a chance to go back through it was entertaining. I don't know what. Show me your gloves. That was the best.
He hit him on, I don't want to fight no more. So I am glad that we are having a little fun. This episode is going to get a bit grim. It's going to get a bit dark.
Viewer discretion
is
advised.
We are going to talk about some movies, and the reason that we're doing this is because we want to take your attention off of different things that are going on in the world right now. You know, you got the election, you got the corona, you got so much going on. So give your mind a mental break.
And I want y'all to be just as disturbed as I am, because I watched most of these movies.
Yes, you watched all of them.
Yep, all of them. Unfortunately.
So this is just some different kind of, and the way that this started off is me and Anthony, we play this game periodically where we Google.
Which one? Okay.
We Google for words and we just kind of see what comes up. And unfortunately, that's how we stumbled upon Two Girls, One Cup.
Shout out to our middle daughter, Kennedy, who is our production person today behind these cameras. So, you know, we keeping this conversation light.
Yes. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm just saying if the curiosity moves you,
hide your kids, y'all. This episode is not for them.
And just be forewarned, it's very disturbing.
It is disturbing.
Very disturbing. But if you're tired of the same old, and you want to catch up on something that's going to hold your attention, I know it's starting to get dark earlier, so this kind of sets the mood for some of that.
It's dark now. Like, Jesus.
And if you just kind of want something different to watch, this is going to be a list. Some of this stuff is like, WTF, did we just watch?
Yeah.
But some of this is some really hidden gems that people really don't talk about. People really don't mention. So we're going to get into it. And there are going to be no spoilers. So
for the most part, I'll say that for the most part, there will be no spoilers.
No, there are not going to be any spoilers. We don't want them.
For the most part, because some of the stuff I have to say.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
But for the most part, I won't give the movie away.
So, are you ready?
Bing, 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 bing.
Me. All right, let's begin. So the first movie that we are going to talk about is The Green Inferno. It came out in 2013, and it follows a student who goes with a group of protesters to save the Amazon when their plane crashes. And she and the survivors are taken captive by some hungry cannibals. Now, I will say, this movie is a slow burn. It takes about 40 minutes to build up the story. But once the story builds up...
And it's bad acting. Like, it's not the best acting. It's new actors. It's...
Yeah.
No
names.
Directed by Eli Roth, though. So if that means anything to you, Cabin Fever, Hostel, it's the same vibe. But it's the acting, you have to give it a shot. Like, I know you'll want to turn it off about minute 15. Don't. Because at minute 40, it gets super duper weird.
Yes. And I mean, it's got some very squeamish parts. It's got some, but it is overall, I would say it's a very good movie.
It's super gory.
It is
so
very
just
gory.
to give you a heads up, it's very, very gory. And I think the tidbit that I did want to share, and it's not quite a spoiler, but the tribe that is in the movie is the actual tribe, and I'm going to butcher this name, Kalanayaku tribe.
That was a good tribe.
From Peru.
I wouldn't know if it was
And they're in this movie, because I'm right, you feel me? And they're in this movie, and that's the legit tribe from that Amazon. So it is super duper authentic. So give it a shot, but enjoy it for what it is.
Now, the tribe is not really cannibals, though. They're not really.
I ain't say all that. You feel me? I didn't give you all that.
Like the real people. So don't think that don't think they really convince some people like. All
right. Well, so now she put that out there. I was waiting because we didn't do like pre-production was really brief this week. They're cannibals, and the way Eli Roth got them to play cannibals was he showed them like this movie called The Cannibal Holocaust, and that was the only thing they got to watch before they did this movie. You will enjoy it. I promise you'll enjoy it.
You will.
But just prepare your stomach because
it
gets weird fast.
Yes. All right. So then the next movie we're going to talk about is Vile. This came out in 2011, and it's about 4 friends who are kidnapped by a madman and locked in a house with 6 other people, and they have to endure life-threatening torture to fill a device that's attached to their heads to escape. Now, let me explain. The acting is absolutely horrible.
It is crappy.
Horrible. It's like a knockoff Marlon Wayne's character.
I don't even give you that.
He looks like him though. He does.
He gives you a little Marlon Wayne's look. It's horrible acting. It is nothing. It leaves a lot to be desired in the acting department.
But if you're looking for some gruesome, stomach turning, like the story, once it picks up with the 6 people in the house, once that picks up, the acting still doesn't pick up, but the storyline and the things that they have to do, and even the ending, I liked the ending.
I didn't like the ending.
Really?
But the plot, the idea behind the plot was amazing to me. I think where they were trying to go was a good destination. The vehicle they used wasn't the best.
I will give you that.
I'll say. Yeah.
But I like the ending. It's not what you would think, but then it might be what you think, but then maybe not really.
It's definitely what you think.
Sort of not really.
It's definitely what you think.
But just check it out if you, and then be forewarned, it does have some parts that are going to make you very squeamish. It is a gory movie,
yeah.
But I would say overall, it's something worth noting. Now the next one, and I have to preface with this. When I was younger, my aunt and my uncle left me in the house, and I loved them to death. Hey guys, they're just a little bit older than me, and I used to stay at my grandfather's house, and he had like tons and tons of VHSs, and I'm probably showing my age right now, but they would tape.
What's a VHS?
They would tape like 3 different movies onto these DVDs. DVDs, and I would just sit in I could spend hours upon hours, days upon days watching movies. And one day somebody brought this movie into the house, and it's called Sleepaway Camp.
Okay, now you stop. Now let me start.
Well, I didn't give the synopsis.
I don't want to give the synopsis yet. I never heard of Sleepaway Camp because I was born in the 90s, and in the so I was born in the 80s, but I've never heard of Sleepaway Camp. And when she said, it's a cult classic, you got to watch it, the first thing I did was to go, no. But then she insisted again. It's a cult classic. Like, you've never seen Sleepaway Camp? It's an amazing movie. And I was like, cool. Now continue.
So one day I tricked him, my sister, and my brother-in-law.
It wasn't a trick. I just want you to know it wasn't a trick.
Okay, so I convinced him, my sister, and my brother-in-law, love you guys, to watch this movie, and it came out in 1983. I first watched it around about 11 or 12, which I cannot believe now watching it as an adult, because I watched it a couple of times as a kid, but now watching it as an adult, I was like, what in the world did I watch at 11 or 12?
Listen, as a grown adult now, I'm just like, what in the world did I watch as an adult when I watched this movie?
So it really follows a bunch of kids. What age would you say they even are? Maybe like 14?
I'm going to go teenage. I'm going to go like maybe 13-ish to about 16, 17-ish.
And they go away to this summer camp that's, an overnight
it's a
camp.
Sleepaway
It's
camp,
a sleepaway
guys.
camp, and they stay a couple of weeks. And now the acting in this, keeping in mind it's a 1983 movie, the acting in this is, some of it is over the top purposely because of the plot of the movie.
With no spoilers. We won't give you spoilers, but stick in, because the point she's making now about the over the top, I almost got out of the movie because of how over the top the beginning was. But it makes sense later on in the movie. It just won't make sense while you're watching it.
Right. And
except for the boat scene, that just didn't make sense, guys. Just
it was like they said, "You go for an Emmy for this. The Academy, you got to play this part." And I mean, this girl plays this part.
Yeah,
and,
she
and
did
once
her thing.
you see the movie, you'll understand.
She definitely did a thing.
Now there is a lot of inappropriate situations in this movie, which I'm still trying to figure out.
Let's call a spade a spade. It was grown men getting with little teenage kids in this movie. It is like the overarching theme of this movie is every 1970s taboo you can think of. Anything that you should not do occurs in this movie. And that's still not the biggest twist.
No. And the twist you will not see coming.
It's worth it for the twist.
It is one of the best twist endings
Top 3
that I have seen in a movie.
Top 3.
So you stick it out. The acting is theatrical. And there's some stuff that's going to make you be like, what in the world is going on here? And even some of the, I guess, taboo stuff that's going on. Like the rest of the camp counselors and the adults are just laughing like, ha ha ha, did you really just say that?
It's bad,
and you're like, did he really just say that? But the movie overall, it's disturbing.
You know it was filmed before cancel culture. I'll tell you that based on the things that occur in this movie. But you have to see it. It is very disturbing. And
a funny thing, he just picked out, we went to Universal Studios in October. And to prepare for that, they were talking about Beetlejuice and stuff. And there is an iconic moment in the Beetlejuice movie that takes a nod to the twist ending in Sleepaway Camp. All right. And so the next movie is Midsommar.
Just can I say one more thing before we move on? It's the final, I don't know what you would call it, the final frame before the movie ends will be ingrained in your head for the rest of your life.
It will.
I beg you, watch it, but don't skip forward. Take the entire movie in and then allow the last frame to scar you for the rest of your life.
It's very scarring.
Oh my God.
But it's so well crafted. I have to say,
it is.
Even for a 1983 movie, for the twists and the things that they put, it was ahead of its time.
It was well thought out.
This movie was way ahead of its time.
It was well thought out.
So going back to Midsommar, I might mess this name up a couple of times, but this came out in 2019, and it was directed by Ari Aster. Cut it out. And his movies make quite a few on this list, but this movie is about.
Midsommar was Ari Aster?
It was Ari Aster.
Get out!
But now when you think back to it,
it does make sense.
It makes sense. He's got a very interesting mind, and we'll get into that a little bit more.
Ari Aster, just in case you're going to Google it, Ariaster.
Yes.
He's
a very interesting individual.
Yeah.
But his movies make you think. And that's another thing that I like about this list is a lot of it will make you think.
Makes you think. In his movies, he really directs and writes to give you a feeling. Whether it's a creepy or eerie or whether you're disgusted or you're like, what did I just watch?
Yes.
The movies give you a feeling. You will feel something watching his stuff.
Yes. So, Midsommar is about a couple that travel to Sweden to visit their friend's rural hometown in its Midsummer Festival. But this movie, it has layers to it because the reason why the people go, particularly the main character why she goes, and it talks about her family issues, the different things that she's dealing with, and it bounces back and forth between her emotions in this movie, and I'm not going to spoil it.
Don't spoil it.
But the movie is confusing, but its cinematography is great.
It's brilliantly done. It's a perfect, like they took something new. They brought a new aspect to a thriller movie because it's a horror movie, but it's painted against a daylight backdrop. Like you're used to so many horrors happening at night. You're used to the bad guy coming and getting you when it's dark. And this entire movie takes place in the sunshine.
Yes.
It's eerie.
And I think that's what makes it even more eerie and creepy.
It kills you.
Because it's always during the light,
yes.
the daytime. And the things that they do, it has squeamish parts.
Yeah.
Has a few little jump scares in there too. But overall, it's a very interesting movie. So we definitely recommend you.
My hot take for that one is I personally feel, and I'm not I'm not a movie critic, aficionado. I personally feel that movie should have been nominated for some sort of Academy Award. And I know that's not the penultimate for, but I feel like the way they shot it and the feeling you got from it, it should have at least been nominated for just a nod. Like, hey, this was good. This, I would give that a shot. Midsommar, stick with it. It's smart.
Yes.
It's it's an intelligent
and it's got
movie.
some sarcastic humor in it.
Yeah, the humor's good. Again, more actors you don't know.
Yes.
But the acting in this, to me, was way better.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So sticking with his genre of film, Ari Aster.
Listen, kids, if you are watching, turn this off at this point and come back.
Wait, before we go there, we got his movie that came out a year before, which was the 2018 Hereditary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can listen to this one. I hated it.
That's what stuck in my head.
That's it. I hated it.
It was okay. So the synopsis of the movie is the matriarch of the family passes away, and her daughter and grandchildren unravel terrifying secrets about their ancestry. And first of all, there is a young lady that plays in the movie, and she has a facial deformity that they play up for this movie. And so she really embodies her character. I'm sorry. I thought it was a very entertaining movie. It had some jump scares.
And I didn't.
It had a very interesting family dynamic. The brother and sister relationship, and the brother, the son and the mother. It's very creepy.
I give you that one part. It's creepy.
The ending of it I did not like. But the build up and how it was shot and different things that happen in the movie are very entertaining. It may be a little bit confusing, but there is an iconic part in the movie that once you get there, you're like, holy cannoli, what happened here? You see how I caught that? Holy cannoli. Holy moly donut shop. No, but so I recommend you check it out. I'm curious.
And just for the transparency, I don't recommend you check it out. But,
wow.
It was one of those slow ones that it was so slow. My true judge of a movie is if I can stay awake.
Once you watch the movie, you'll get that.
I promise you, I didn't stay awake.
But I mean, check it out. And then if you have seen any of these movies, or once you watch any of these movies, please let us know, because I'm very curious what everyone's thoughts is.
And you can tell me you agree with me. It's fine.
So now, to put the kids to bed.
Please.
So this next film by Ari Aster, it's a short film. It's only 29 minutes. It was done in 2011. The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. And you can check this out on YouTube. Just give 29 minutes of your life. It starts out like foot on the gas. Here we go.
Yeah, it doesn't, it's no easing to it. He's just, get it all.
And just pretty much the synopsis of this is a suburban family where the son is involved in an abusive, incestuous relationship with his father. So just putting that out there does not ruin this.
You heard her. You absolutely
does not ruin
heard
these 29 minutes at all.
Read that part one more time. I don't just in case they didn't hear the incestuous. Read that. What would you say?
A suburban family, when the son is involved in an abusive, incestuous relationship with his father, but it takes a different look and approach on it, and it's nothing like it's nothing actually thrown out there that's vulgar. A lot of things are implied.
It's all implied, actually. But
the whole dynamic between the mother, the father, and the son.
Hey, Tom.
I will bold this. But we watched it for the second time before mentioning this,
and it created great dialogue.
It did,
because the movie, the short. The first time I watched it, I was disturbed and told everybody, don't ever watch it. The second time I watched it, it created more dialogue between us because I said it wasn't just about the abuse. Like, it was tackling, like, the family dynamic of what's hidden and what's done in the dark in a different aspect, because you're used to it being a young child being abused by an older person, or what was the other one that was on Netflix about the girl who was kidnapped from a family by the guy, and she went back, he took her again and was messing with, like, it was that sort of, what was that?
Abducted in plain sight or something like that.
It gives you that, but it's the reverse of it, and I think that was the brilliance of this entire short film, because it made me question, well, did the father do something to the boy to lead it? Like, it left you with a bunch of questions, but it created a bunch of conversation, and I think the dialogue was his intention behind it.
I agree.
But it's disturbing.
So this next movie is one of my absolute favorite movies on this list, and it's Prisoners, 2013. And this one has an all-star cast. It's got Viola Davis. It's got Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard, man. Jack Gyllenhaal. Like, this movie, and it's 2 6-year-old girls go missing, and their family tries to find them. Now, this movie has so many different layers. Keep in mind Prisoners, because there's a reoccurring theme of different types of being a prisoner in this movie. And I'm just saying, the first 11 minutes kind of build the storyline and give you a feel. But think about that.
11 minutes.
11 minutes.
11 minutes was all they needed to build the storyline enough for you to get pulled in and get straight to it. It was good.
And when it takes off, it takes off. And it gives you that feel of Seven, how everything was very dank and rainy and gray. So that follows through the movie. And it really talks about how far would you go to try to find your child. And the interesting part with this movie for me is I found myself in different parts feeling bad for the different people in the movie. I felt bad for this person, and then I even felt bad for who one of the kidnappers, who they thought one of the kidnappers was. And you just teeter-totter back and forth so many times in this one movie, and it was just expertly done,
intelligently written. Yes, like the story weaves so well that it takes you on a roller coaster of, just like Mickey said, what you feel about each character changes often in this movie, and you continue to do this because they write it in a way that you can't grasp what the end is. You don't know who to suspect. You don't know,
it does keep changing,
why you feel this way, or are you doing too much, or you not doing enough. Like, it does this very well. And the acting, Viola Davis didn't have to do much. Terrence Howard didn't have to do much. Hugh Jackman carried this entire movie.
And you feel for everyone, every single person in this movie. You can put yourself into their shoes and say, hey, what would I do in that person's situation? So definitely.
I'm sorry if what you hear is Maui acting a monkey right now. Sorry.
So definitely check this out. I cannot say enough about this movie.
Yeah, this was a good one. I would say check it out. But you pay attention. That was one of the notes I have. You have to pay attention because the movie will. It's one of those things that gets you to a point where you want to see what happened and you're trying to guess the end, because I do that. I watch movies to guess the end. And this is one I couldn't guess the end. Even the second time watching, I couldn't even guess the end. So this is good, but pay attention because it's little nuances that you might miss if you don't.
Agreed. All right. So following that is Nocturnal Animals. And surprisingly, this one was directed by Tom Ford. And
you know, I don't pop Molly, I rock Tom Ford.
Tom Ford. And the story is about an art gallery owner's second husband is constantly traveling, and she gets a manuscript from her first husband. The manuscript is about a family whose trip turns into their worst nightmare. Now, during the opening credits, you're going to be like, what in the world am I watching?
Very abstract.
It is a very abstract movie. Yeah. And because it was directed by Tom Ford, a lot of what the wife wears in the movie is beautiful. Like, the clothing is great. The story will teeter-totter between two different stories. It teeter-totters between the art gallery owner and the story that she's reading that was sent to her by her first husband. And what's crafty about this is when they flash back and forth between the two movies, the wife in both present day and the manuscript looks similar, and that's done for a reason. The movie is very smart. It can be confusing with the teeter-tottering back and forth.
That can be, will be. To be honest with you, I was confused.
But the story is amazing.
Yeah, it was a good story.
It's another one of those you feel for, because with the whole family in the manuscript, you're like, oh my gosh. Very, very good movie. The ending even was great. You feel for different people in this movie as well.
Nocturnal Animals was a good one. It was very artistic.
Very artistic.
It was Tom Ford being a director, and he directed in a Tom Ford way. So it's not unlike anything you'll see,
I agree,
in my opinion. But it's really well done. Like, it's well done. It was some holes in plots and some things were a bit too confusing, but all in all, it was a really good movie.
It was. So definitely check that one out. We watched a movie called The Human Centipede. This came out in 2009.
I vomited it. I'm just going to read my note. I vomited in my mouth a little bit, but still watched the second one.
Yeah, and that's the worst part, is we got through the first one to watch the second one. And it's about two American girls on a trip through Europe, and they have their car breakdown in Germany.
I feel sick right now.
They wake up in a makeshift hospital with a psychotic German surgeon. And
he's doing an experiment.
Oh, he is. So if you want to take your mind off of...
If your stomach
can handle
is not strong, I would advise you not to watch this, because this is disgusting. It's not disturbing as the other ones because the themes were so deep. This is just nasty.
It is. But it's entertaining. And that's
it was
the worst
entertaining,
part.
but it's disgusting.
It's a pretty okay movie. When you look at everything in its totality, it was a pretty okay movie.
It was pretty okay.
And not for us to watch the next one.
It's just, it's almost calling back to Sleepaway Camp. The ending in the last sequence, and you're just like, why would anyone think to do this?
I love to get into people's mind, and I'm wondering who would think to make a movie about this, and then what company would fund making this movie. But I mean, I'm just saying, if you want something different and abstract to watch,
and that's different and abstract, fam. It's disgusting, though. So you have been warned. I'm saying it is disgusting, and your stomach is going to turn. And it's going to make you feel away, and you might lose whatever you just ate, but it's entertaining.
Yes. Keeping on that entertaining theme, we watched a movie called Teeth.
And this is one I don't remember, guys, so I'm sorry.
This was from 2007, and it is a young lady that's born with vagina.
This is one I do remember, guys.
I knew he would. See, when I say the V word.
That's how you,
I remember.
That's how you put me on there.
Just like he remembers Madea does Dallas.
That was a movie. You got Google.
Anywho.
That's on video.
This one has another crazy family dynamic. Again, the acting isn't the best, but it is a very entertaining story.
I think the story made me watch because of where the teeth were. Mm-hmm. That's all I got. Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
And then the reason for when the teeth do and do not come out. Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I would recommend check that one out. And then the next movie we watched was The Impossible.
Listen, so before she gives you the synopsis, I cried. And I'm not a big watch a movie and cry guy. Like, I don't think there's many movies that have made me cry. Like, people cried at Lion King. I didn't cry at Lion King. I cried the first 15, 20 minutes. Then about 40 minutes later, I was crying for about 15, 20 minutes. This movie is one of those movies.
And it's a true story. Mm-hmm. It's a true story about a husband, a wife, and their 3 kids who spend winter vacation in Thailand for Christmas when the tsunami hits. And back a couple of years ago, 2000, maybe 10-ish or something like that, you guys remember when the tsunami hit in Thailand. So this actually follows a family, an American family that was there vacationing. And the way that they shot this movie, it was absolutely breathtaking.
Special effects. The director of photography who framed some of these shots for you to, it draws you in to feel everything you're seeing. And I didn't think it would be possible to feel all the stuff I saw, but I feel like after watching that, even the third time we just watched it to freshen up, I feel like I was there and survived the tsunami.
Right.
Like, that's how well they prepared the cameras and the cast of unknown people that I believe really was the family that went through this.
And it's so interesting that it spends a great deal of time following a son and the mother. And the son, he acts so well in this movie. Like, he is very believable. You feel his pain, both physically, mentally, emotionally, his drain, his love, his, like, every ounce of him I felt in this movie. That's why this is another one of my favorite movies. Very, very, very hard to watch.
Yes.
And
it's not hard. It's not hard, disturbing hard. Like, the theme isn't disturbing. It's the idea, hard for us, and I think when we first watched it, I said this, it's hard for us because we're parents, and we're parents, and we travel, and if this would have happened to us and the things that they had to encounter to get back together, it's hard to stomach what they had to go through to get reunited. Like, that was the hard part for this.
And I'm a big planner, so I'm always like, okay, if we go here and anything happens, this is where we meet up, and this is what we do. Even when, what was that, September 11th happened, and I was like, and this is where we're going to meet, and this is what we're going to do. Nana, you're going to pick up this person. You're going to pick up this person, Sierra, and we're going to meet here. So just to put, like you said, myself in this mind frame of if we're on a cruise or if we're out of the country and this happens, what do we do? And we're just all scattered. Like, what do we do? Very, very, very excellent movie.
And it's full of the roller coaster.
It is.
It's this for you, the entire movie. So you'll hear me say this once you see it when you watch it, because this is one I recommend everyone watch. When the little boy yells Lucas, I cried again.
Yes, I would have to say I cried for the whole movie too.
The whole entire movie, I'm just felt like I was watching This Is Us, just
and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
So that is all we have today. I want to end on a high note. I want to thank you all for hashtagging those Ponty Pants.
But I'm not finished.
I want to end on a high note, not to say the episode is over.
You said that was all we had. I got a rant.
You're going to make your rant.
Okay.
So I just want to say, Ashley, who hashtagged those Ponty Pants.
Ashley Johnson.
please reach out to us so that we can set up your $30 credit towards Robeson events. You can either do the party in a box, or you can do event planning and decor with her. So
me. Congratulations, Ashley. Me.
Now the floor is all yours.
So I got rent. Hey, Tom, I'm gonna get myself. I said I got a rent. You know, I'm back. You gotta know when to hold them. And you gotta know when to fold them. So I was watching the American Music Awards. And Belle Biv DeVoe was brought out to perform. And Belle Biv DeVoe got up there. And if it was an 8-count routine or steps they had to do, they did 3 of the 8 counts. I say to the point, they was so bad to the point where I feel like Brooke Payne was probably cursing that television out watching them do that. It was horrible to watch. And these are hits from my childhood. And I'm just like, Poison and I'm in. And I was like, but they're not. And they like, ha. It looked like it hurt to do. And I'm just mad because these are my joints. Like, these are my songs. And I'm just like, but they shouldn't have got out there. Like, I feel like they should have just got the cast from the BET movie and told them come out there and do the dance steps while we sung. And like, it was just bad to watch. Fast forward to yesterday. And I'm watching my beloved Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. do something in the ring. They hug, they cuddle. I don't know what it was. But it was a reminder that we get old. Our bodies tell us we can't do all of the things we used to do. It's a blessing to grow old. But you got to learn how to let the memories and the highlights of your youth live in your mind. I saw this quote, and I'm going to end my rant with this quote because this quote was absolutely perfect. The past is a great teacher, but a horrible landlord. Oh, that was good. That hit right now. I'm going to run that back because I'm going to need that. The past is a great teacher, but a horrible landlord. You can't live in the past. It happened. You can cherish those memories, but you got to be here in the right now. And in the right now, it would have told Mike Tyson and Roy, go ahead, stay home, watch these young kids do this. My rant is over.
Well, thank you for that.
All right, I appreciate it.
So, I have a question.
And I don't have any answers.
Is it me, or is it more and more individuals gallivanting on foot in the middle of the roadway? Like, we have so much perfectly good pavement. And not only do I have to swerve potholes, debris, critters in the roadway, I gotta swerve around people who just decide to tra-la-la-la in the middle of the road. Like, I'm just curious, is it just me? And what's causing people now to just decide, I'm just gonna walk. And now, I understand why they built the bike lane. Is the bike lane now for pedestrians? Like, can you just say, oh, forget this cement going on the roadway? I just don't understand. And then they just come out of nowhere. It's like a thriller. And they just come out in the middle of the street. And I'm like, hey, sir, just get one out there. I'm curious. So let's hashtag perfectly good pavement. We're going to go with that because I would like for all of you that are watching, use that perfectly good pavement. That's what it's there for. I know sometimes, with snow, you got to swerve out. Come on back in. Won't you come on in? Won't you come on in? So, every episode we feature a small business. And today I would like to feature my friend, Corleen, who has done my distress locks. Ooh. I am going to link her contact information below, her IG. She has done, the last week I had knotless braids. She did my knotless braids. She does my girls' hair. And check her out. And if you hashtag that perfectly good pavement, I will give you $30 towards your hairdo.
So just you, because I don't have to give it.
What's mine is yours.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Psst.
You're going to get 50.
Is this thing on?
That's because you want to be a smart butt.
Is this on?
So today, what we are munching on are these pineapple cheesecake cups. Very, very, very easy to make. All you do is allow some cream cheese to get room temperature, or if you want to speed up the process, put it in the microwave for about 20 seconds just to soften. You mix that up with some crushed pineapples and sugar. And if you want it more chunky or more sweeter, you add more of the pineapple.
That's perfect right here.
Blend it up and then put it right into graham cracker cups. You could use those with a big graham cracker pie crust and set it in the refrigerator for about 2 hours to allow it to solidify a little more. And that's what you have.
That's good.
Well, thank you kindly.
That's real good. This has been a great episode.
It has. I cannot wait to hear what you all have to say. If you have watched some of these movies,
absolutely,
please let us know. If you're going to watch some of these movies, let us know.
After you watch these movies, let us know what you thought.
We are interested in some dialogue. Don't forget to follow. We just started an IG page, insert_subject_here.
Right here.
So you can follow us there. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to our page here.
Yeah.
And thank you so much to everyone for your support. It means so much to us.
It means a lot.
Thank you.
So I'm Ant.
And I'm Makia.
And thanks for stopping by to talk some ish with us today.
Bye.
Peace out.